Okay, guys, in this video, we're going to go through Matt Thorne's story. So, Matt is based in Central Coast, New South Wales. Him and his partner own a web and branding agency that was kind of a generalist in the marketplace, kind of just getting project work from wherever they really had network, word of mouth, and referrals. When we met, on our sales call, probably about 15 months ago, Matt was really struggling with figuring out how to niche down and focus on his best market. So, the big thing that we helped Matt and Lisa do was really narrow the focus of who they wanted to target and build an offer that went beyond design and addressing and solving the problem that his market had that would lead them to engage a designer to start with. So what you're going to see with Matt's story, within the space of 15 months, he's gone from, charging $10,000 for projects to sending out and closing anywhere between $20,000 and $35,000 projects. And we're going to show you and take you through how he's been able to do that and really the major epiphanies and changes to the business in the space of the last 15 months. So enjoy. So I've got Matt Thorne here. So I'm going to quickly thank him for doing this interview and just get you quickly, Matt, to just introduce yourself and tell us who you are and what you do.
All right, so said Matt Thorne from Multiverse. Basically, what we do is we go across branding, web design, and marketing overall. And nowadays, pretty much exclusively for tech companies.
Nice. So take us through. I'm trying to think off the top of my head how long you've been in the program for, but we're past a year, right? Or under a year?
Oh, I think it's around a year now.
Around a year. So take us through where you're at when we first had that chat, like roughly 12 months ago. Like what stage were you at in the design business and what kind of issues were you running into that made you feel like you were kind of couldn't move forward or head in the direction you wanted at the right speed?
So that would be the point where we'd spent a few years getting our product pretty good. So sorting out our methods for how we go through branding, how we then kind of get all of that information together, how we build out the websites. We kind of got that working pretty well, but never really worked enough on how to get clients. So at that point, it was a bit haphazard how we got clients. It was also, we were just like looking in random industries. We would get a client and then go, oh, let's try and just break into that industry because we've done that one. And, so we went through NLP, audiology, a few random ones, and just nothing kind of really worked for us. Yeah, so we were kind of at that point where it's like, oh, let's just keep trying these things, but didn't have any real reason for trying those industries.
Got it. And I mean, what you guys were delivering was good. You guys had a good bit of momentum. You had a couple of retainer clients and you were still finding clients here and there. So it wasn't like it's not like this. It's really, you had a good base. The delivery kind of back end systems were there. It was really just a kind of tweak to the front end systems, right?
Yeah, pretty much. So we've still got those ongoing clients, but now it's kind of just started picking up a few more. And one thing I was chatting to Lisa earlier about is that we're actually now concurrently getting clients, which is an interesting one. Whereas we're in the final stages of building out a big website, as we are kind of the early stages of doing a brand for another client. So actually starting to get the odd overlap, which is quite nice.
Nice. So take us through, and this is what I've realized from asking everybody else, this question's way too open-ended, but you trust your gut on how you answer. How have you enjoyed the experience in Profitable Designer so far? So take me through what parts you've really valued and where you find real value, because people find value in completely different places, in regards to training platform, coaching calls. So however you want to answer that.
Yeah. And I guess it also changed what stage, because early stage, it was actually just having even to be honest, going back right the first call, going back in what industry, we'd kind of tried tech once before, and it was a bit, almost too hard basket. We weren't answering the right questions. I think literally that first call I had with you, where it's like, just go back to that. That makes sense. We've actually got experience, knowledge, my background. It all makes sense. So literally just having, an outside perspective going, nah, you need to really do that. That was great insight just at the beginning. Then right early stage of actually doing the course, actually just having the videos, kind of going through, looking at the sequence, kind of going, these are the bits that are important. What is it that people care about? So I've done other courses before, and they're just not broken it down into enough detail, and especially not for a design business. And a lot of other coaches courses have been more generic small business. And I just find that when you're doing a design business, it's not so material. Like the website is easier to sell, but we really need to sell people on the branding as well. And obviously it's expanded now, but so the early stage was very much breaking down on how do you explain it in a way that someone else actually sees the value in what you do? Because we knew what we could produce and the value it produced for them, but actually articulating that was something different. And whereas now, to be honest, it's more the group calls, and half of it is probably just the accountability. Yeah. And the other half is actually going on a call and not necessarily having specific questions sometimes. But sometimes
I was just about to say that.
But it's more often than not, it's not going on for any particular thing, just mention something and it just spirals off and spins off into something else where I'm like, that makes sense and that's what I should do.
Yeah. I feel like that happens a lot when we chat. It's kind of, nothing really, just this. And then somehow we just keep adding a sentence onto it. And then all of a sudden it's like an hour and a half of deep diving into some part of it, I suppose. Yeah, cool. So maybe this is an extension of that, but like, what do you feel like is the biggest aha moment that you've had since being engaged in the program?
The biggest aha. There's been lots of little ones. As I said, one literally just focusing on tech to start with, but then it's really the piecing stuff on both the beginning and the end, so rather than just branding and website separately, obviously selling them together, but then piecing the bit on before, which is really people need to figure out their core messaging. And half the time now, I'm pretty much selling people on just the core messaging. Obviously, there's the other bits on there, but that's the bit that people go, can't get it, can't understand it, need someone to help me with that. Mm-hmm. And then pretty much on the other end, bolting on, really going, it's market, putting the marketing on the other end. So rather than trying piecemeal, try and, sell this one to upsell onto this one, to upsell onto this one and get the bigger and bigger projects each time. It's like being able to go to someone and say, this is the start to end, this is the project. This is the core of it. And again, it's still morphed a little bit. It's like going, this is the core of it, and then there'll be this ongoing. And but being able to pretty much go straight up to someone going, this is your project, likely ballpark cost, this is likely what's going to be, and just being able to kind of sell it all in one go, I think.
Yeah, so I like to think of like the metaphor is you've kind of laid out the problem that you solve in the tech space, and then you've kind of laid out the Subway, production line of all of the ingredients, and then you have the conversation with them, and then out of your production line that you've built for that transition, then you're just going here, here, and here. That's the whole project, not selling each individual thing. It's like, here's the transition you guys need to make,
Yeah, exactly. It's actually being able to tell them, this is where you are, this is where we'll take you, pretty much. And that actually giving them an end product. I think that's one of the bigger things. Before, I was always I didn't know what I was selling, actually. I think that was one of the big things before starting the course with you. I remember having a conversation with Lisa one morning going, I don't know what I'm selling. I've got all these parts, but none of these parts sell our overall solution. And I think now that's the bigger thing actually, is going, I'm now selling, I know a solution, basically. I know what their problems are and I know what the solution is, and I can now just go and sell, this is your solution.
Nice. Yeah, so take us through like that shifting in thinking and in combination with the strategies, like what kind of results or like changes have you witnessed within the business from like a client perspective, from responsive marketing, however you want to answer that, I suppose.
One is it can actually directly generate clients now, which is probably the nicest thing.
Yeah.
Is yes, there's still, you know, a lot of work that goes into getting the client and actually kind of signing them off. But I have a process now to actually follow that I can kind of go, I need to get a client, so I need to do this, have rough numbers or rough ideas of what it will actually take to get clients. So yeah, having just that process to start with. Everything before was all through referrals. There was no, you know, no predictability whatsoever. So now actually generating that. On the other side of it, I've probably increased project costs by about 4 or 5 times. So the initial project costs, you know, say just the branding website bit is probably 4 or 5 times what it was even just like a year ago, pretty much.
Are you working 4 or 5 times harder?
No, but probably 2 times harder. The projects have got bigger and more complex.
Yeah.
Because I'm delivering a lot more. But they're not 4 or 5 times harder.
Awesome.
They're probably, yeah, twice as hard for getting, you know, 4 or 5 times the reward.
And you don't do the majority of the upfront marketing anymore, do you? You kind of, where do you come in to the marketing?
Oh, so you actually, okay. So not client work, our stuff. Yeah. So that's.
Oh yeah, sorry. I should have been more specific.
Yeah.
My vague question has been getting me in a lot of trouble over the last few interviews.
Yeah. So I've got a VA in the Philippines who basically the majority of the way I get clients is through LinkedIn right now. And it's identifying people on LinkedIn, which I've got a VA who does that. She kind of goes, tags everyone, does all of the hard work on that side of it. I've got automation software that I've got set up, which connects with people, auto sends messages. And then when they reply, she then has the conversation with them. And she's now built up a huge, you know, Q&A sheet of previous answers that I've had. So she can do majority of the conversations and back and forth now, and typically then actually just book in the call. So the first time I normally hear about someone is actually when I kind of get the alert through saying a call's been booked, and then actually just talking to them.
Nice. Yeah, that's insane. Okay, so I didn't actually realize you'd gone that far. I thought you'd got to like stuck their hand up and they've responded and they're interested. But yeah, that's so then, and that probably ties into like the last question, but like, how has this changed the way that you look at your business moving forwards, maybe in comparison to where you were when you came into the program?
So I can actually see it being more of a sustainable business now, in that I can generate clients, and it's not quite fully on demand yet, but it's not far off. You know, it's a majority of that side of at least the initial stage, the whole lead gen side of it, pretty much being taken care of by someone else. And it's just when I want to add new things, improve on it, where I can jump in and just let's tweak this bit and this bit. And so pretty much on that, the first stage I get involved is just the sales. And that's actually been quite a learning curve in itself, I have to say. So that's been one where I thought I was good, got a sale, and then found out there was a lot more nuances to these bigger projects than I'd realized. And then been learning on that and refining as well. And then also looking more outsourcing a lot of extra, a lot of these side bits, some of it's our core skills and other bits is been outsourcing. So it's actually looking at potentially growing the business. Well, actually looks like I can grow the business now, which is quite nice.
Awesome. So where do you feel like, what do you think are going to be this is another question. I didn't prepare you for this one. What do you think the changes are going to be for 2021 that are going to allow you to move to the next step based on the platform that you've already built? Like, what do you think structurally has to be adjusted?
Probably adding in, so I think more education actually. So things like the videos and having kind of case study videos, probably doing some of these kind of interviews, things with, our clients and getting these on our website as well. So you've got, it's education plus a lot more kind of validation people. I think it'll be building up these things. So actually when I said I can get people onto calls, one, they would be great for getting more people onto calls. I think the bigger thing will be having already built a certain amount of trust with people and trust and understanding with people by the time I talk to them.
Yep.
And I think that's probably on the marketing side of things, the bigger side of things that I'm going to focus on, actually the biggest systems that I'm going to put in place.
Yeah, that's by far like the best place for you to develop, because like people underestimate how important like content like this is. And like there's been a couple of people that have like proactively started to hoard video testimonials, especially when it comes to paid traffic. Like the conversion rate like takes like a considerable worm jump the minute that there's like 2 to 4 videos that just reflect the intent of the thing. So like honestly, like you might find that none of the numbers actually change until you get to sales call conversion. And that could easily be like a 50, 60, 70%, increase just on that simple thing. So that's by far the best place to focus. Yeah, cool. Well, yeah, thank you for your time, Matt.
Yeah,
it was
good.
Thanks for your perspective and your story, and we'll chat again soon.
Yeah, sounds good. All right, chat soon.